What's up, guys? It's Mrjamvad, and today we are back for Season 2 of On the Contrary Sword and Shield Edition. And basically what On the Contrary is a Pokemon podcast where you hear from the best Pokemon players on Earth and hear their hard-hitting opinions. And Jam is there as well. So, my guests today are going to be the Lord himself, TheMrMoet.
Oh shit, did he just call us the best players on the planet? Thank you.
Nothing new.
I appreciate that.
Hey, I'm not the one who wins the battles. Y'all are.
Thank you.
I do watch the MS channel to watch the moves.
He really does. That's why he still subscribe. We got PokeaimMD.
What's up, guys? We out
Pokemon
here.
extraordinaire. And got a very, very, very special guest. He came all the way from Puerto Rico. Chimpact.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, mis amigos?
Yeah.
Me llamo Chimpact.
Okay.
My man knows some Spanish. Throw your way, okay?
That's Spanish.
Came from Puerto Rico. What
what we're gonna be discussing today is the thing on everybody's lips, Dynamax, or on anybody's.
It's on my lips.
I mean, you got some big lips, Chris. Hey,
Hey,
I can say that I'm black. So, well, yeah.
you can have eyes when you're black.
Nah, a white person couldn't say that. Be racist. But we're gonna be discussing the Dynamax suspect today, and whether we think it's too much, it's not enough, it needs more. I don't know, whatever your opinion is. And of course, we're gonna start off with the legend himself, Chimpact. Chimpact, what are your thoughts on the Dynamax suspect, my man?
I think it always should have been banned, but the main problem with Dynamax is some of the moves that are associated with it. Fly,
Yeah.
ban it. Like if certain moves were not available, it would just be fine. But because like their Pokemon moves, Max Airstrike or whatever it's called, just raising your speed and just increasing your power or your speed for no reason, broken. Also, being able to tank hits for no reason is also unbearable. Like Gyarados should not be equivalent to Blissey in terms of bulk, while retaining its offensive stats.
Yeah.
And Gyarados initially was like the best Dynamax user, but like as the game has evolved a little bit, it's not as strong anymore. But it's still very strong, and that's why I use that.
So it's not if they had like if it was set up.
Ban?
Well, no, not even just a ban. If Dynamax was just a move, so essentially a bulk and a Z move, you wouldn't have a problem with it. But it's the after effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I also don't like the, like the double HP is absolutely annoying.
Absolutely.
But it's one of the best ways
Yes,
to
it
beat.
is.
It's one of the best ways to beat Ditto, which is also annoying. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if Ditto would be as good though if it wasn't for Dynamaxing. Like it'd still be used, but it would be nowhere near as
of course not.
scary.
Facts.
I think the fact that Ditto can Dynamax is just stupid as itself. Like Ditto's a top 3 Pokemon in the metagame. You might even argue it's number 1 because it can be anything. Like I've had people set up and sweep me with Gyarados for them to just get Gyarados right back. Like it's just that type of mon.
Right.
And you set up and I get your boost and my choice scarf.
Yeah,
and then you can unlock from the choice card.
Exactly,
Right.
that's the big
I
thing.
get my Dynamax.
I think that's one of the most broken things about Dynamax. The fact that choice locked mons are not locked. Like I've led with choice scarf Mrjamvad and I've knocked out 3 Pokemon.
Right. It's like, I don't really feel like it anymore. It's summertime. Let me remove this.
I'm glad they don't keep the choice scarf boost because obviously that'd be even more broken. But I do think that if Dynamaxing just doubled your HP for a turn, it'd be okay. Like not even giving you the moves, like didn't give you the moves, but just doubled your HP. Because it'd be pretty cool to have like a frail Pokemon be able to live 1 hit and keep going. But the fact that they can live the hits, set up terrain, get the speed, raise their special attack, and then they go back to their choice scarf variant that gets the boost as well is the nasty part.
Halucha will have like 4 things happening at once.
Lucha can set up its own terrain for him.
Terrain, unburden boost, the boost to the terrain effect. Yeah, like it's nuts. I'm surprised I haven't seen too many Halucha lately.
Earlier was definitely.
I haven't seen one in feels like weeks. I feel like I haven't run into a Halucha. Maybe I'm just like not playing enough, but
I mean, it's really not that strong.
But it's
back and just kill it. and you maintain your momentum.
Yeah, and Pursuit being gone, I'm not. What the hell was up with that?
Yeah, using a Dynamax for Halucha is not the wave. There's way better Dynamaxes.
Okay.
But if you're using it by yourself, you have to.
Yeah, you have to Dynamax. But I mean, the fact that it can still attack and boost itself. Luckily, they weaken like anything that boosts. So poison and fighting moves are weakened.
Yeah.
Which does make a difference. But
What do you mean by that?
it,
You said poison.
120 base power. Close combat becomes like a 95 base power max knuckle. Yeah. So
really?
anything that's anything that could give you a boost. So poison and fighting types are weakened to 95.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Except for the speed.
Yeah, speed doesn't get weakened. So I mean, that Gyara's hitting you with 130 base power bounce, which is so dumb. And I do think that like Dynamaxing is really cool. I just think that offensively it creates too much. Like in Battle Spot, I think that Dynamax is best used defensively because you can kill two of your opponents and then their last mon is there. Dynamax is in reverse sweeps you, right? But in singles, I just feel like there's too much going on to the point where the defensive Pokemon aren't even that much better when they Dynamax because their moves become offensive. So like they can't recover. They can only max guard. Yeah, they can't recover. They can't max guard. Aegislash doesn't turn back into its King Shield form. Like it's just might be time to go. Might be time to go into a hole, bro.
Nah, I was chefing up some rice. But
chefing up some rice.
Oh no!
God damn!
I do not want to hear a fire alarm going off. Well,
that is so pathetic.
Chefing up some rice.
Chefing up some rice. Open up one of them packs.
Nah. I cook my rice just straight off the farm.
I believe you.
But nah. My biggest pet peeve with this is the choice lock thing and the randomness. I feel like now when I step into a game, play styles are no longer really a thing. You know,
bro, I think game plans are the biggest thing. I can't form a game plan to save my life because anything could happen for 3 turns at any random moment.
That's
like
true.
I might see like, okay, cool. Once I set up one Dragon Dance with Dragapult, I win this game. They don't have a Ditto. They don't have anything. Oh, my Melodic Live +6 Dragon Dance Dragon Darts. Like what? And that's not even so crazy to think about, right? Like there are Pokemon that will live +5, +6 attacks if you somehow manage to get there. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So I don't like that as well because I feel like it's not even me not playing well. It's just that it's more reactionary now than it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's really hard to think long term in terms of like. And then sometimes, like even if I have a game plan, I see how I win, but I have to shift it completely so I don't lose to his Dynamax Pokemon, right? Like I literally have an Aegislash that can 6-0, but I have to max guard right now. That way I don't lose to his Dracozolt in front of me or whatever. Like, and it's just so shame because it messes you up as well. I don't know.
Am I the only one that likes a little bit of the guessing when they might Dynamax?
I do. Don't get me wrong.
I like guessing when they might Dynamax.
When I get it right, I feel like fire.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, initially, like that's cool and all. You know, the first month, first 2 weeks, yada yada yada. But as far as moving forward and progressing as like an actual, competitive tier, it's just ridiculous to me. Like that Darmanitan, I have to guess whether a U-turn or Max Flare. You know what I mean? Like
that mon already does some damage too.
Yeah, right. I'm not worried about Darmanitan at all.
I mean, I'm saying that's just an example. But you don't know. Like, so he could Dynamax and he's not choiced, but you just assume that's the kid. Like, there's no amount of skill. Like, my thing is when I hop in a game, I want it to be, and that maybe that's just my selfish desire. That's how I like to play. I want it to be, if I lose, it's due to you sheerly outplaying me, right? Not because you randomly die. Like I got the guess wrong, and that's, to me, it takes away from what it was like pre-Z move, because I think Z move was somewhat of that as well. And I was hoping like, okay, they removed Z moves and they removed Megas. Well, Megas didn't really impact that, but they removed Z moves. So there's no more guessing. Like I don't have to guess what your Z move is and guess when you're gonna use it. but then they introduced Dynamax, which has no restrictions, and now it's just a super guessing game.
It's not even guessing too. Like I could lose a game that would be 100% won otherwise of this. Like it's so dumb. And I do believe though that removing a core mechanic of the game from the main thing is lame. Like I think it's really lame. Like it's super lame. Like I'm gonna play it, and I think it'd be healthier for it, but I just think it's whack. Like I'm happy that I'll be able to still do it on Battle Spot or like VGC or regular Wi-Fi battles if I want to. But I think that just the fact that Dynamaxing is so restrictive. We have Pokemon this generation that are already so restricted anyway in terms of like what can deal with them. Darmanitan is a big one, for example. Like there's like one true counter, and it's not even like if it's choice band and he goes for Earthquake, then Toxapex dies too.
You're talking about Avalugg.
Avalugg and Toxapex. Avalugg is a pretty good answer too. Jelly to an extent. Like if it's banded, Earthquake to a KO, but like that's the thing. But yeah, so like we already have that mon, but on top of that, or like Gyarados, like Dynamaxing just makes Pokemon like Gyarados just ridiculous, right?
Gyarados is ridiculous.
Togekiss is another big one. I think that's crazy. Nasplat then gets a speed boost, and then can a whole lot of things. So like I just think it's so restrictive. So I do think it deserves to be banned, but I'm gonna always say it's lame that it's gonna be banned.
Right.
It's the main draw of the game.
Right, it's a new thing. But I think it's gonna be
just ban Airstream.
Nah. Because how are you gonna ban Airstream?
Well, I mean, they just uncode it. They just uncode it
to like, what? Code it to what? Air Slash or whatever that flying move is. But that's to me that's that's manipulating the fiber of the game, right? Yeah, that's not even true Pokemon at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they're also removing Dynamax. Yeah,
they're removing mechanic.
It's still the same thing, yeah. But I understand what you're coming from too. I just think it's just I don't know.
At that point, we're ROM hacking. I mean, I feel like it's ROM hack competitive play. Removing Dynamax is just it's like you're battling in Alola. We don't have Eternatus to provide us with that Dynamax energy. That's all that is, as far as I'm concerned. We're just in a different region. So it's still a Pokemon, just in a different region. Because I don't think it's right that my Salamence no longer exists. Like, what the fuck? What?
I honestly like the limited metagame more, but that's fair.
I think it does add some spice to it, a lot more so than I thought it would. But it's still early, so I'm not. We're still like, okay, this is different. Early. Was it X and Y? No, it was early. It's pre-bank.
Sun Moon.
Yeah, pre-bank Sun and Moon was very similar to what it is now. Like with the whole.
I feel like this metagame is way more fun than Sun Moon.
Well, yeah, I think it's more. I think it's more entertaining, but I think that's partly due to the Dynamax.
This is one of the most fun metagames we've had in a while. To be honest, yeah, I really enjoy it. Like. If Dynamax wasn't so unhealthy, I would be like, fuck whatever everybody else is talking about. Let's keep Dynamax.
Yeah, like Sun Moon was just like you had like 3 Stealth Rock users. But in this metagame, there's not a lot of Stealth Rock users. But at the same time, you don't really need Stealth Rock.
Yeah, like hazards aren't as necessary.
Yeah, man.
Heavy duty boots make things like Charizard work in OU.
Yeah, heavy duty boots is like so sick. Yeah, like that was such a good, healthy item to put in the game.
I thought they'd do it. I don't know. I thought they treated like Assault Vest, so they'd give it the Assault Vest. You can wear it.
Nah, they just made it fire, bro.
Right? They just literally like, okay, you can be immune if you'd like with no restriction.
Whatever you
want. So I thought that's how they were treated. Like, okay, you can be immune, which is a huge deal. It's not as big. It's big, but it's not as big now. Just wait till the main mons come back that abuse stuff like that. The Volks, the Ho-Ohs, like. The fact that Volk can come in without hazards, that's going to be his main item.
Oh yeah, bro, Fat Volk is going to be beautiful.
Oh man, you can just switch in endlessly. Heatran's not going to use boots, but Heatran's item has been so flexible over the years. Like I'm like, how is that Dragon Dance Garchomp? Like shit's about to get crazy.
Facts.
And then imagine if we keep Dynamax Dragon Dance Garchomp, bro. Garchomp isn't dying to shit. And they're gonna give it a Gigantamax.
I mean, if it comes into this game, yeah, I don't think we need any.
I actually like I was looking at some of the Pokemon that you could just use in national decks, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that it's not there.
Oh my god, they got no Max Stream Landorus, man.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But at the same time, I'm like trying to build a team. It's like there's like 3 good ground resists.
Right. Again, I like the. It's not like I want it to change right now, but for me to say I'm just completely okay with Pokemon just never coming back. Like more Pokemon than like there are more Pokemon missing than they're in the game, right?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's. Luminion can go fine, but we need our Metagross back.
I think Metagross is the one I miss the most.
Mence.
That one would be so cool with Dynamax. But yeah, I agree.
Like
I do.
Whole legendaries, top like you just invented them. Like you can't just. That's not how that. At least make an alternate thing. Like if you want to just restrict.
What if they start doing like a cycle thing? Like every gen is cycle Pokemon. I
actually would love a rotation.
I think so too. It'd be amazing.
What do you mean by that?
Games?
So maybe next Gen 9 or whatever the next one is, there won't be all the additional Pokemon besides the original Pokédex. It'll be new, old Pokemon
list,
in that game.
It'll be a new list of Pokemon in the game. So some of these mons will be gone and new mons will be back. So literally a rotation.
Yeah, they would just rotate in the old Pokemon.
I wouldn't want to wait a whole gen for that. That's 3 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
No. It wouldn't be a new gen, bro. It'd be next year.
It'd be next gen.
It's a new game jam.
But then they have to interact.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like that's essentially bringing the whole the entire decks back.
No, the new game doesn't.
No, I think they'd be separate.
They just gotta have the different decks. Like if we're going, let's assume we're going to Platinum, right? Let's assume we get our new version of Platinum next year, or whatever. That Platinum would have a specific dex that would be different than this one. They don't have to be able to trade. It's like even though Pokemon Home can trade with this game, and you can put your Pokemon from Sun and Moon into Pokemon Home, that doesn't mean they can get into the game itself.
But that would hurt the business more than help, I think. Like,
I mean, they already did it. I don't really expect. Oh, I just saw someone Dynamax and then use a Z move. I'm just watching a game. It's great.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think that would hurt them. They're starting to set the precedent right now, aren't they? I mean, you could just exactly what Joey just said. You could have Platinum, and then you would have the Gen 4 Pokédex, and then you would throw an additional 300 Pokemon in there.
Right. Yeah. But why wouldn't it be able to interact? And like, why would they be treated as completely, like, almost completely different brands? Like it's not even Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? They've never not. It'd be as if I'm looking at my Garchomp, and I want to use my Garchomp with my Dracopult, and it's as if it's not the same game. You know what I'm saying? I feel
like for the last couple of years, Pokemon has been making a shift towards keeping up with the competitive scene and really focusing in on that. Especially like even with the Dynamax moves, like they boost the allies.
Right.
That's the whole point of them, is to boost the ally next to you. There's a whole bunch of ally moves that got introduced again. Mm-hmm. I think VGC is a real big thing. Battle Spot's a real big thing for them, and a rotating Pokédex is something that keeps the scene, in their mind, would keep the scene more competitive than just having the same Pokemon there year in and year out.
Oh, you mean like as far as just showing up? But we can't say what would show up. Just like Incineroar. I mean, they bringing back a lot of the mons that were kind of ravaging the meta, other than Topos. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. But I like Moet said, like, and that's another thing too. Like, I can't connect with Let's Go directly to Sword and Shield, but Let's Go is a Switch game, right? And it was the game for the year that they gave us. So what they're gonna do is they're probably gonna make everything interact directly with Pokemon Home, which probably comes out around January, February, March, whatever of next year. And you'll have to, if you want to get your Pokemon into the Platinum game or whatever comes out, you're gonna have to trade from there, and just some Pokemon won't be able to. That's it.
Oh, like, depending on what they release.
Yeah, depending on
like a ban list.
Yeah, so like every Pokemon is available in Pokemon Home, right? You'll be able to trade every Pokemon from every single generation, because you can move them all the way up, and you put them in Pokemon Home. And then from Pokemon Home is where they determine, okay, well, we're not allowing Garchomps into this region, so it's like that.
Right. Yup.
I guess the way I'm looking at it is, so if I've invested, like, if the reason I say her with her business, if you're thinking about it from a strictly like I can get my Pokemon like that perspective.
But even from a business sense, now if you want to play with a certain Pokemon,
you can.
They're only allowed in certain regions. But you have to buy that game to play in that region.
Right, but it's already obsolete. So it's not like as if the competitive scene is going to be a dual split. So if they remove Dracopult, it's not. They're gonna focus on the platinum scene for VGC that year. So like whoever little Timmy raised and bonded with, again he's been split with.
You can argue the same thing though for what just happened last time. We got Kartana last gen and it's gone this gen.
Right, but I don't think they're gone. Like I don't think that's.
No, they said that, and this is their words. The Pokemon that are there will be able to be used in some future titles. That doesn't mean that all of them will be at once, Jim. Like they could mean that only one of the new mons is there, and then in the game after that, another bunch of few mons are there.
That's a choice to how to interpret it. It just doesn't. Other than a coding thing, like Dynamax, I think the only reason they didn't add all of them is because of the choice of mechanic they did this time. So Dynamax is essentially like multiple, things, like whether it's like, so you got two forms of the same mon, the big form, or if in the case of, because some Pokemon can Dynamax and Gigantamax, right?
I agree with you. I think they left Pokemon out as a form of balance.
Yeah, for 100%. What they said as well, their words, with the Pokemon we have in, the reason we're doing this is because we want to make sure every Pokemon that's in can do something in competitive. And when they think of competitive, they mean of doubles or potentially battle spot singles. Like that's the reason they chose the Pokemon we have specifically in the game.
But how would you even? I don't see how you would determine that, because you can't. Predetermine a metagame.
They literally tested themselves. I'm pretty sure when Garchomp outsped Salamence in Gen 4, there was somebody testing it and they lost because of Salamence outsped their Garchomp. They were like, okay, we're gonna give it base 101 speed now.
But that's from a pool of what? How many people compared to thousands of people? I don't think that's a metagame. That's just.
I'm not arguing
people playing that.
I'm not arguing that's a metagame or anything. I'm just saying that they most likely did this so that like they said it themselves.
Well, we'll see. I think they're gonna.
It would be tough to make a metagame out of Pokemon. Like you got to make the Pokedex, and then you got to make those Pokemon, and it just like. To fill in the Pokemon for your metagame afterwards, it is very tough. I agree, Jim. And it seems a little unlikely. I just think I don't think they have a good, solid way on how they're doing it yet. I think that's
what they're doing, though. I agree. Yeah. Okay, I don't think it's 100% solid yet either, but I believe that is what they're doing. I believe that's what they've been doing since Generation 4.
Doing what exactly? What are you referring to?
Figuring out what can work. Like they don't just randomly give a Pokemon moves. There has to be some sort of thought process behind it.
Well, I think beyond that point, right?
I mean, you like to believe, but man,
there's no way to really.
I'd be wondering myself. Sometimes I wonder myself.
Especially with the I think definitely last gen and this gen was a heavier focus. I'd argue that they weren't that heavy in the competitive scene as far as the game development.
I wonder why they didn't get
because what's it called? You can't. The thing is, we're thinking about it from a singles perspective. You don't know how they implement two styles of playing for a reason. It's not just.
Oh, I know. No, they don't. I don't think they don't care as much about singles.
Right.
Obviously, they're doing it from a developer's perspective. But I mean, the reason Kangaskhan and the aerial abilities got nerfed was because of broken in doubles.
Because now that scene has a lot of power.
Singles. Because singles is like how you normally battle.
Yeah, and I mean that's the big reason why I'm like making a video about it. I think they care about battle spot singles, which is why they did the ranking system.
Right, because otherwise it would strictly just be doubles, but they keep bringing singles back in.
Yeah.
So I know we can theorize about. It just doesn't. To me, if I'm looking at it from I'm trying to pull as many people in, it would only be to their benefit if in just like a strictly game, unless they believe the competitive scene has more weight in purchasing power than the non-competitive scene or the more casual scene. If they keep moving forward and keep like leaving a ton of stuff out, because with a new gen we're talking about if they let some stuff out now with a new gen, we're talking about a whole new 100 Pokemon. So it's gonna be some of the same formula. And if what used to pull me to the game, because this was kind of a blindside, right, with the whole leaving out. It's not like they marketed it from the first release, and most of your Pokemon will be gone. It's not like they marketed it like that.
They wanted to do it last generation, though.
Right, but they didn't, right? Because with the Z-Move, Dynamax are essentially 2 Pokemon. So it's not just like one. Whereas with Z-Move, you get an animation of just that one move. They're essentially doing 2 Pokemon for every Pokemon.
Oh, of course. That's why they did it.
Right. So if they change Dynamax, then obviously that's gonna leave just like everything else, and it's more of a mechanic that's not so coding heavy. This isn't my background, but I can imagine just looking at the game. It required a ton to go into like making Dynamax work, or like when
100%. That's literally why, and they're already on a timer because they have to release something new every year because it goes with the show, it goes with the cards, it goes with the merchandise. Yeah, it's just how it is. Like,
and I think that's another reason why they're pushing the competitive scene is to keep people like us playing. Because if the game was just focused on the kids who watch the anime, how long would we really?
Okay, guys, I apologize for interrupting Chris's thought, but due to 100% fault of my own, there were some technical issues that caused us to not catch the last bit of this. Luckily, we were only talking about the in-game and how better the plot can be for the in-game, so nothing Dynamax related, which was the focus of the podcast. But I'd still like to hear your thoughts as far as, what your thoughts on the Dynamax suspect test. Should it be banned? Should it not be banned? How Game Freak should move forward. I'd love for y'all to join the conversation and, leave your thoughts. And again, this will be different in the next one. All the audio will be perfect. But as a first episode, we got to mess it up, right? Something has to go wrong. So it's just tradition. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And I'll see you guys in episode 2. Peace.